and taking questions and providing advice live with non-Art Storefronts customers to see where they're at with their business, with their life, what they want to do, see if they're a fit. We actually did another thing that we did, we haven't done this before. We did a short demo. We brought Reed. Reed's been working for the company for over 5 years. He's actually brought on board like over 1,000 artists. We kind of were talking about, like, that's a lot of artists coming onto the platform as members from one person, you know? Yeah. And anyways, he ran a short demo, went through the front end of the software, through the features and things like that, you know, showing some detail there. Then he went into the back end a little bit, and then he started showing the marketing and consulting product, like the art marketing calendar and some of the resources. It's a quick demo, probably about 15 minutes towards the beginning, at the very beginning of the Facebook Live from yesterday. Yep. And and then after that, and he went over pricing and some detail there, and then we did some Q&A after the fact, and it was awesome. So you'll get a lot of questions answered if you go back and watch that. I realize we probably just went live on Facebook and Instagram, on Twitter. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm talking about for all of you who just came on is the Facebook Live that Patrick and I did yesterday for non-Art Storefronts customers with a demo. It was a demo. We did Q&A and went over pricing and different things and talked to a bunch of artists and photographers about their situation. And I think everybody can learn from it, because what have we learned? What have we learned generally, right? Let's get right into it. What have we learned? We've learned that everybody essentially has the same problems, like the same set of, 5 to 10 problems, the same misconceptions and things like that. And we also know that literally 100% of everybody has a marketing problem.
Yep. What's all
every single one.
Yep. And it's pattern recognition on our part at this point. Really, it's not even more than that. You have these live sessions like we've been having. We've had like 40 of them with our customers, and some without customers, hearing about their issues, hearing about what they're struggling with, hearing about what they're trying to figure out, and then just all the years of working with our customers before. It's so clear now. All artists, all photographers, solo entrepreneurs. They don't have a marketing staff. They don't have a sales staff. They're all more attention, more eyeballs on their art and their photography.
It is not any more difficult than that. It is just truth.
True.
Yep.
And even we should say too, even the ones who are on our platform
selling
well over 6 figures
and well into
6 figures,
they need more
attention. They need more eyeballs in their art too, because they want to level up and go to the next level, right? They want to be at $1 million a year in sales, right? More than that. And the only way to do that, get attention.
The offline
sources not there anymore. All online, potentially for the foreseeable future. The next 12 to 24, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, and so interesting takeaways from yesterday's session that I want to talk to you about. Yeah. So the first, the main thing is, the main takeaway that I'm getting from all of this, right? A major pattern here is that one of the biggest problems that is in the art industry with individual artists and photographers is
we got to again and we're getting crazy feedback. People are telling me crazy feedback. So just go back to the
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
And that should fix things. So just go to your regular computer speakers, and I'll do the same.
Okay. We there? Yeah, so this is how it goes when you're going live, right? Like you got to work through the technology issues. So we're back though, right?
Yeah, Carol, let me know if that fixed it. Hopefully that did fix it. Keep talking, Nick, and we'll just go.
Okay, so the misconceptions, right? So the biggest problem is the way that artists and photographers actually think about their business, right? And think about what their next move is, or, some misconception they have about the industry. Because we could give you any of the marketing tactics that we want, right? Like that you want. And you'll do nothing with them if you don't actually correct this problem beforehand. Like I'll give a perfect example. There was an artist on the session yesterday, and she was talking about how the reason that she's here now is she's like, I just did not believe that art sold online, ever. And but I do believe it. I believe that now it actually is happening, right? And I said, wait, hold on a second. So the online art market has built up to be a $9 billion a year market, right? Yep. Like over the last 15 years, $9 billion a year. And you still do not believe that right now as you're on this call with us. And you only believe it because this pandemic happened. And so we started talking about that. And I said, where are you getting this information? That is actually the problem, right? Yep. Where did you get that information? And you probably didn't get it anywhere. You probably had it in your head and you made your own assumption. And you know what the truth is, Pat? That's the biggest problem. That for that specific person, that is the biggest roadblock for that person being successful, right? There's a thought pattern there of making your own assumption, not based on facts, not having surrounding yourself with the right people, mentors, whatever it is that's giving you correct information so that you could execute on your business 7 years ago in the right direction, right? Yep. And so right after that, this same artist was talking about how she's about to sign a contract with a gallery. And I'm not picking on her. I'm saying this because this is so common. It's everywhere. Yep. She's about to sign a contract with a gallery, to do her marketing for her. And I sit there and go, the galleries are closed. They're all closed right now. Even if a gallery was open and told you they were going to do all your marketing for you, you still wouldn't want to do it, right? They can't do all of your marketing for you. They just can't. They can't look after that many artists and do what needs to be done for you anyway, right? And then you're also giving away the keys to the kingdom. You need, in order to build a valuable business, you got to have your own customers. You got to own your own lead list and customer list in order to build anything of value long-term, right? You can't give it all away to somebody and let them acquire the customers and send you a 1099 check. You'll never build anything, right?
Yeah, it's all the eggs in one basket too.
Yeah. And so you take both of those things and you realize you could give that person a marketing plan and it won't even matter. It won't even matter because those two problems need to be dealt with. Why is the artist thinking that that's actually the solution, Yep. And so there is so much of this stuff being fed, and it's all happening because, I believe because everybody is overloaded with information. You can get it anywhere. It's one of the downsides of the internet. There's a million positives of the internet, right? But you have more information coming at you from everywhere, from your friends, from your family, from the news, from bloggers and podcasters in the industry and outside the industry, gallery owners, publishers, friends that have never sold anything or have never been really successful. There's comments, you read comments on a Facebook post or a Facebook ad from somebody you don't even know, but then you listen to that and you go, well, wait, maybe I should listen to that. But you have no idea whether that person has any credibility at all. And this is the biggest problem that I am seeing out there. And here's the truth too. Are we not correcting these mindsets with our customers completely all the time?
Yeah.
All the time. And so
it goes back to what you were saying earlier too, which is for years as a business, we sort of rode, the subtle psychology of reciprocation, right? To hat tip to Cialdini, put out the best, the greatest art marketing, photography marketing content you can, and don't ask anything for it. Don't charge money for it. Hope people will follow it, talk about it, listen to it, and share it, and then want to become customers as a result of it. That was the premise we were operating under, and it worked well. It worked well to a certain extent, but the game has utterly, totally, and completely changed since then. And we talk about the sales funnel, right? And that marketing help, that tactical marketing advice for how you are going to grow your business that you can go and take from us and go put into your business and explode it, falls on deaf ears if we have not destroyed the premises that are in your mind. If those things are still there, call them your self-limiting beliefs, call them the premises, call them it's like the red pill and the blue pill, right? That's the stage you're at, right? The actual matrix is down below, but we're at the red pill, blue pill moment. You got to decide, right? Like, which one do you want to take? Do you want to continue to think that art doesn't sell online, that there's some magical marketplace out there where you're just going to upload your art and it's just going to sell and you're going to make $100,000 a year and just, vacation in the south of France, that you don't have to do any marketing, that there's rich benefactors out there, that there's some sort of magical high net worth list, an email list just waiting that you're going to tap into?
Or originals don't sell online, even though they sell every single day, and we publish all the proof. Like, and you can talk to the artists. Like, or limited editions don't sell online and haven't for 10 years. All of these things have been selling the whole time, And so, there's so many more too. Like, you're like, there was another person. Actually, I think there was 2 people yesterday that were like, I paid a year up front for my GoDaddy site. Right? Like, and I still have like 6 months left and I paid $600, or something like that. And, I don't want to give that up. Meanwhile, they're like, but the site is terrible. It has no art selling features. People are complaining, and I actually sell quite a bit, offline and with other things. So I actually have a decent business. And it's like, you need to like, of course you need to immediately ditch that and properly equip yourself, right? One way or the other, however you do it. But there's so much of this out there, and it's just incredible. And so the thing that I say is, we practically have to cleanse everybody and remove layers of BS that has been stacked on everybody. What's another one? It's the passive income thing, right? We talked about this too. This I'm going to put my art up and fish are going to jump into my boat and I'm going to get sales like an ATM machine and I'm never going to have to work at it. And if that doesn't happen, then it was a total failure and I should never do anything, right? When that's not how anyone ever in the history has ever built a business. So those people, again, it's like, where did you get that from? Have you ever spoken to a single business owner that's ever built anything that does like $100,000 or more a year? Because 100% of them will refute that thought in 1 second, right? And tell you about how hard they work to get there and how hard they're working to get to the next level. And so everyone, like any artist or photographer who's listening to this, you need to question your own assumptions. Where did they come from? Where did you get that assumption? If you have an assumption right now that art doesn't sell online or hasn't for 10, 15 years, if you have an assumption that you're like, you can like sell from a generic portfolio website and build a great business off that, and that's a good investment. Where are you getting this stuff from? Who is it? Do you have an advisor or a mentor? Did you come to that conclusion on your own in your head? Like, where is it coming from? Because these things are actually your biggest problem. And as soon as you shed those layers and get those off, you're going to actually get correct information. You can validate that correct information. You can ask other qualified people, and have a different approach towards the way that you think and the way that you make decisions, because whatever you think turns into actions, right? And those actions determine your future. And so if you've been thinking for the last 10 years, oh, there's no way art is sold online, or originals don't sell, and I only sell high-end originals, or the price points are $150 online and they're not $20,000, like that has determined so much of your actions over the last 10 years, like that one thought, that one single thought. And then now you end up right now where you're rushing to get online because it's all you can do. And you got caught with your pants down because we're in America 2.0 now, right? And you have to have an online strategy.
Yeah. It's extraordinary times. I keep saying that, but it's so true. You're not online, you're not in the game, you're not digital marketing, you're not the game. Next 12 to 24 are going to be extremely difficult. That's all there is to it. It's just
and it's all online. The game is all online right now,
But going back to your earlier
point, be offline to come back. Can't wait, right? Like we're going to be, like we've got all the playbooks and everything for our customers to hammer the offline, to do the shows, to execute those really well. But for now, it can't be done. And, you got to just have your mind focused on where the market is right now. And it's actually an amazing opportunity. I mean, we talked about this in the workshop yesterday again, right? Like the fact that that 100% of the market is now online and people are buying so much art online and other products and, doing more of their shopping online, what that means for the future for artists to be able to run their own gallery shows out of their house. I mean, this stuff never happened, you know, like,
or there's literally going to be like a WeWork of galleries in like towns, right? Like it's like an empty gallery, and you know, for $275 or whatever, you can rent it out for the night. You go and you sell all your own stuff up, you run your live show, and then you pull all your stuff out and you're done. Right?
Who knows?
You just wanted the walls and the lighting. It's like it's amazing to think about what that future is going to look like. But I think we said this earlier today, and you know, we should preface this by saying we are seeing a large number of people sell a good clip of art from various different live events. Doesn't matter whether it's Zoom or FaceTime. Don't get stuck on the platform. The platform's irrelevant. It's the video presence, as Zuckerberg likes to say, utilizing the video presence. And in many ways, as that, if you take that abstraction out, like a normal traditional wine and champagne guest list gallery show, give 50% of your commission away, or you know, or 30 or 40, depending on what deal you had worked out, you're geographically limited.
Yes.
And now you're not.
Exactly.
And now you're not.
And now you're not.
Yeah.
And now you're not, right? Like that's the whole point. I mean, you have the whole like a large portion of the country would go to shows and would go to galleries in their local area and buy art, right? Yeah. All of those consumers are now online. You never had a chance at them before. You had a 0% chance, but now you have a chance at all of it. So every artist's individual opportunity has actually dramatically increased, regardless of the size of the art market, whether it contracts as a result of the macroeconomic situation or not.
Yep. It's sort of insane. And Jason Lindsay said on Facebook, love this. It would be great to have your top 3 best-selling photographers on to talk about their business. We have brought a number of customers on. It's, you know, it's interesting. So we started doing these, you know, Zoom calls with our customers. I think today was number 20 or 21 since we started them. We've been doing them twice weekly. That's sort of insane. We've been doing it for 10 weeks, right? Twice weekly. Yeah. So yeah, at least the one that you and I host, right? Which we just call office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the most profound thing about these things, and for those, the uninitiated, we have like anywhere from 100 to 150, 200, 250 of our customers, whoever could make it on that day, into a room. And they're all just coming with their questions. What should I do about this? What should I do about this? No topic or subjects really, you know, off limits. And it's allowing us as a company to iterate so much quicker than we were before. That part of it is just profound. But the reality is that there's so many different ways and avenues that you can sell and market your art and your work. So to your point, Jason, about getting the good people on, we've been doing more and more of that, because these people will come in, some will come in and they'll share what they've done, right? Like we had a gal that sold, you know, $11,000 or $12,000 worth of online teaching courses. We have some folks that have mastered this live technique of just getting commissions and are getting like multiple commissions a week just by doing some live painting. And we have been grabbing them actually and putting them in and sharing their success and sharing their win and speaking to that. So that's been totally fascinating and another great way to learn. So we've been doing that, Jason, already. Actually,
it's happening. I mean, with the members on the Zoom conferences, like inevitably in a given day, you're seeing successful people and what they're doing and successful tactics that they're running, and they're asking questions about it. Like, you know, it might be like the end of a playbook that we have on some specific tactic, and it's like, hey, I just did all this and I got, you know, X amount of emails and I've already got X sales. Like, what should I do at the end? Like, I remember there was one of those from a photographer, I think a week or two ago, and for the Mother's Day, right? And we said, extend the sale. You just crushed it. Like, you just crushed that sale, extend it for one more week, right? And so there's, you know, you're surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, who are, you know, trying to build a real business for themselves with their own customers direct, you know, that you can try to have consistent income in the future from, right? Not the upload to galleries, rely on third parties, get a 1099 check situation, which is, you know, essentially created the starving artist problem since the beginning of time, right? Like that's the essence of our business model at Art Storefronts is we want you to have a real business, a normal business like every other entrepreneur. It's not rocket science, right?
Own your own customer.
You do your own marketing. Your own email list, your own leads. You turn leads into customers. That's how you can create consistent income. You know, you have a consistent marketing strategy that you're always doing, right? to increase that and to keep it going. And you rely on no one. You rely on no one. You control your entire distribution channel, and you're not dependent on anyone. You're not dependent on, you can't be affected by an algorithm change, whether that's offline or online. You know, an offline example would be, you know, a gallery, you're in a gallery and, you know, there's a new style and they move you out and another guy's in. Like, you just got moved out. Same thing happens online, right? So it doesn't matter where it is, you know, like if you don't control your own destiny, you're not going to end up with something that you can rely on in the future.
Yeah. It's sort of fascinating. Carol was asking me how to become a customer, and I sent her a link, and she said she requested a demo but never heard back. So I'm searching Salesforce for her. I'm searching Salesforce for you, trying to find you, Carol. I'll let you know in a sec.
We'll ping somebody too on the team and have them reach out to you. In fact, we can probably get somebody to reach out right now. So that's actually a good idea.
We have three, believe it or not, we have four Carol Parkers in here. So give me a portion of your Gmail address if you have a Gmail address, and I'll look you up.
For anybody else that's wondering, you can request a demo. If you go to our website at artstorefronts.com, you can find it in our profile or whatever. On the upper right-hand corner of the website, there's always a request a demo button, a big button up there. Click that, fill in your information, you'll get in the queue. Somebody will reach out, chat with you, do a discovery call, learn about you, your goals, you know, what you've been doing with your art business, and see if it's a good fit. And if it's a good fit, then they'll schedule a demo, you know, and all that good stuff. It's non-committal. It's non-salesy. So don't worry about it. We're literally just trying to figure out whether we can work with you, whether we can make you more successful or not. And if we can't, we will tell you. We will actually tell you.
Yep. And Keith Sturgeon asks, what is the basic cost on this? We should probably send them the video from yesterday.
Yeah. So we did a Facebook. Yeah. There's a Facebook Live that we did from yesterday. If you literally scroll down our feed, one of the guys on our outreach team, Reed, did a short demo too. It's short. I mean, obviously we have a ton of features because this is an all-in-one solution, but he did a short demo and then he went over pricing on there briefly. So you could watch that. But to tell you, like, I'll try to mimic exactly what he said. Right now there's a special going on. And so the minimum, the minimum pricing starts at, there's a one-time membership fee of $1,000 up to $2,800. Okay. And there's a monthly fee that starts at $44 and goes up to $59 a month. Okay. And the only difference between those is features and benefits. So if that's within your budget, then the next step is to actually request a demo.
Yep.
And they'll go over all the detail with you very slowly, you know, and
all the bells and whistles,
feature what you want.
All the bells and whistles and sizzly features that we actually hate talking about, because the only one that matters is the marketing. Right?
Yes.
Like, you know, we give the analogy, or I give the analogy all the time. I give analogies all the time, period. But you know, like having a really, really good website, even if it's like the best website in the world, and I don't care if you got one from us or if the best website builder in the entire world built it. It's a Ferrari that's sitting in a garage or sitting in the driveway. You have a Ferrari, wonderful. We have no gas in the tank. The gas tank's empty. Won't start, won't go anywhere. Without the marketing, you have a Ferrari sitting in your driveway with no gas. And what is that good for? Absolutely nothing, right? So
I'll give you a separate analogy, right?
Yeah.
That's like just dead on with what we're doing. You have the most beautiful art gallery with, you know, the best salesperson and, you know, the best lighting, the best everything, paint job, you know what I mean? Everything's layout, everything's ready to go, but you have no customers, you have no leads, you have nobody walking into the gallery. So it's totally pointless. You equip yourself, but you have no traffic, no eyeballs, no attention. And so you've got an empty gallery, right?
Yep. You
got to fill that gallery with people.
Yep. And both Carol and Keith says too much for me, and Carol says, whoa, way too much for me. I'm on Social Security. We get it. It's not for everybody. Like, you know, the abstraction of it all, like the story that we've been telling a bunch recently, which is the right story.
Well, I'd say you're not there yet. I'll interrupt you and say you're not there yet, but go ahead.
Yeah. I would say, like, you know, in 5 or 7 years ago, or maybe even 10 years ago, you could have a successful company just selling a software product, right? Just software alone, just a website alone. And that worked out, that worked out great. Things have changed since then. You can't have a successful business if you don't have successful customers. And so we realized over the last couple of years that our job is not to give anyone the best website ever. Our job is to create successful customers. That's our job. We do that, we have a successful business. So when you reverse engineer, how am I going to help artists and photographers be successful, sell the amount of art and photography online that they're aiming for, that they're looking for? How do I do that? Okay. Well, yes, they're going to have the website. Okay, check. Next, we're going to have to teach them how to market and get them to do it consistently. That's it. And how do you best do that? Yes, it starts with incredible content. Yes, it starts with the playbooks. Yes, it starts with the calendar, what you do on what days. But the final piece, the most important piece, is regular and consistent coaching. Regular and consistent coaching. How do I price things out? How do I do this on Instagram? How do I do that on Facebook? What about Facebook ads? What about Instagram ads? What about framing? What about emailing? I email too much, email too little. What other channel should I be focusing on? You can't, if our goal is to turn regular and unsophisticated artists and photographers into marketing machines, you just cannot do that without regular class being in session all year long. You can't do it. It's too hard to do on your own. It's too hard to do on your own. It's too hard to learn. The artist and photographer brain, the concentric circle, is not like wired to be like a diehard, you know, digital marketer. It's just not the case. So Carol, to answer your question, Keith, we had to reverse engineer how to create successful customers. This is what we've landed at. This is what we do. It's what our product is. The website is a very small fraction of it. The marketing help and support is massive. And, like, you know, you come on board and twice a week, there's a webinar with Nick and I where you can ask any question. You can learn from what we do, how to run a sale, how to discount, how to email market, how to run Facebook ads, how to post on socials, how to look at your stats, what to focus on, what not to focus on. Boy, is that part important, what not to focus on. And if we to try and provide all of that for a normal website price is absolutely impossible. There's just no way to do it. That's the long and the short of it. Like, I don't like trying to feel like I'm getting defensive about it, but it's a profound thing. You're like, you have to create successful customers.
Well, it's important to explain it because, and here's the way that I would say it, right? What are you going to do for marketing? I mean, that is the whole entire problem, you know? And like, we've talked about this so much for those of you who've never heard this before. Go Google 99% of all Shopify stores fail. Google it.
Yep.
You need to know that, right? Like, because whether it's Squarespace or Shopify, it's no knock on Shopify. But technology alone is not enough. You don't have a business with just a website, right? So if you're setting out to actually run a real business, you need a marketing solution. That normally is you hire consultants at like $100 or $200 an hour, right? Or you hire a full-time employee. Normally businesses, like small businesses, would start with a consultant. And then they would, once they're more successful, they would hire somebody full time. But what we have done at Art Storefronts is we have democratized a marketing product where it's like a co-op. If you guys are familiar with what a co-op gallery where artists pool together to rent a gallery, and like, you know, each one of them works a different day of the week and they all get to sell their art in a gallery, right? We're basically doing a marketing co-op where we have a whole marketing team together for all of the Art Storefronts members. It's for everyone, right? For the rest of your life as a member, for the rest of your life, right? You pay a one-time fee and you get access to this team, right? Exactly the way that Patrick said. And we create products for you all the time, marketing products. For example, the art marketing calendar that you follow all year long to grow your sales, right? And all of the consulting templates, pre-made email templates that are ready to go for all year long for everything that you need to do, pre-written subject lines, pre-written copy. You can put it right into MailChimp and all that different type of stuff. And so it is the cheapest marketing solution that you could ever imagine getting, you know, for a small business. And I believe, I've said this a lot, I believe this is going to happen in every industry. We're just the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
We're just the first ones to do it. It's going to happen in other industries, other silos, like the jewelry industry, or maybe like small clothing solo entrepreneurs. It's going to happen because, you know, photographers and artists, like solo entrepreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, if you want to call them that, working out of their house, you can't afford consultants. You can't afford $150 to $200 an hour consultant. You just can't.
Yeah.
You know,
you know what anecdote I have on this is so perfect, by the way. Like this describes exactly why we've been doing so well recently and why our customers are so fired up. If to your point, okay, let's say we were selling stuff to restaurants. Okay, we were selling stuff to restaurants. That was our business. Maybe it was restaurant inventory management or some sort of software like that. This pandemic hit. What did most restaurants do in your town? Right? They were probably pretty slow to see the writing on the wall, and some of them still haven't figured it out. Nick and I would have been just put our mind to it immediately, called all of our customers, said, look, you know, like the flailing guy that you can fill up and you put out in front of Walmart, we would have bought 50 of those things at discount, put them in front of every single solitary restaurant, say, look, the pandemic is on, takeout is in, and pay kids on rollerblades with masks to go to every single solitary house in the neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. We're open. We're delivering special menu, party platters, full dinners, whatever it is. Like, you know, you need that marketing education. And there's lots of restaurateurs that still haven't figured it out, right? Like it's the same thing. It's the same thing with photographers and artists.
Yeah, exactly. And so here's the thing, right? If you can't, I understand if you just don't have the money to afford it, right? Like, I mean, some people are in a really bad position. You need to turn that around before you can do anything. But when you are actually capable of like, you know, like looking at your business and like trying to grow your business, like, you know, to have a marketing product that is essentially like, you know, 1/100th of the normal cost of marketing consulting, like that's a pretty good deal. You know, like you probably should take advantage of that if you can. And I'm kind of overtly like passionate about it, obviously, but that's the way to look at it, right?
Yeah. Carol just left a comment and it says, "Good anal," with a smiley face. And I'm like, careful of breathing that one, Carol. Oh. She came back. I'm sorry. But that was funny.
That's awesome, Carol. Thank you for that. That's funny. You got to lighten things up sometimes. I mean,
you know, like we've done so many of these things. It's like, if you can't have a little fun, you're going to go crazy. You're going to go crazy. Yeah. Anyway, classic right there. Absolutely classic. But yeah, you know, the whole live video and the live video selling is so damn fascinating on so many levels. It's changing and evolving so fast. It is sort of crazy. And I think it's absolutely the place where all offline sales are going to move to in a large stretch of the imagination. You know, I think a lot of the galleries are going to go out of business, but I do think a lot of the galleries are going to come back, the big ones, and it's going to consolidate. But man, if you do not have to split, you do not have to give 50% commission. You can have all your stuff hanging in a gallery, even for 24 hours or 48 hours, like on a short-term rental, and have it look beautiful and do all of that. That's a really compelling show. If you teamed up with 3 or 4 other artists and everyone shared their list and did that, that's a really compelling investment. No one's doing a 50-50 split. And guess what? After the show's done, pat yourself on the back, have a drink with your friends, and then do it again in 2 weeks because nobody saw it, right? Like nobody saw it. So I think that's interesting.
It's sort of we were reading that article this morning. It was kind of a scary thing about how, like, you know, Texas has kind of opened up a bit, right? And I'm in Austin, Texas, and that's where Art Storefronts is headquartered, for those of you who didn't know. But in Texas, like, you know, they've started loosening the restrictions. And what happened? So the beaches and the state parks have been just jam-packed, right? That's what this news article said. But unfortunately, like the Domain, which is like it's a big shopping mall type of place, outdoor, and it's outdoor. It's actually all outdoor. Think about that, right? Like in Orange County, it would be like Fashion Island, right? And yet still, the article said nobody's coming, even though they can come. Nobody's coming, and the people that were there, nobody was buying. You know, it's early yet, but it's still concerning. You know, about like people are ready to go jam pack the beaches and the parks and all that stuff, but like they're not ready to go into retail stores yet. That's not good for retail.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I still have that article up. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's going to be on a state by state basis, but again, I'm like Nick's a little bit more cautious. I'm full blown optimist. I think we're going to come right out of this right away, and people are going to get back to business. I mean, I heard on the radio today, and this is striking. Like a little bit of current events for a second to pivot. 50% of counties in the United States have not had a single COVID death. Over 50, a little bit over 50%, not a single COVID death. That's insane.
The problem now is the problem now is going to be more of the fear, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be like a sliding scale of like, you know, when people are going to feel completely comfortable to when it gets back to that normal where retail art shows and things like that are going to be, you know, nobody's going to care anymore. They're not going to be worried about touching something or grabbing a print and having to carry it around, but do you have to have gloves on or not? So it's just all it is just a variable that you just have to work around, right? You know it's there. You don't mope about it. You move on and you execute where you can right now, and you do it right away.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. You know, you got to be on offense at all times. If the board game changes, no big deal. Get onto the new game board and play the new game.
Yep. And it's also why we move at 100 miles an hour, because the game is changing that quickly recently. I mean, boy,
yeah.
You know, prior to the pandemic, I'd never been on video once. Since then, I've been on video 10 hours a week, right? On over hundreds of hours of video. And like, look, things change. It turned into the Hunger Games. You got to grab a stick and start fighting. I mean, that's it.
And it's turned out to be the greatest thing ever, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we have had unprecedented demand at Art Storefronts. We've signed up more members than we ever have. We have a monthly
to our customers than we've ever been.
Yes, exactly. We're closer to our customers. Our customers have been more successful than they've ever been, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a crazy time. But it just shows you that, like, even in these times, if you hustle and you adjust and you play the new game and you go after it and you execute, there's an arbitrage there, right?
Oh yeah.
There's a total arbitrage online right now for artists and photographers, and we're obviously like coaching on that. We've got tactics that we're running, and it's a crazy time. But it just shows you that, like, even in these times, if you
did I just do a double audio drop?
Yeah, you did. I was like, I thought you were just playing something on hustle.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
Sounded like that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So if you execute, you know, when these changes happen, there's an arbitrage, right? And part of the arbitrage is that, you know, the truth of the matter is very, very few artists and photographers have a good online game and have it, right? I mean, I would say that the Art Storefronts members by far have been most equipped. You know, the people that joined us 7 years ago, 6, 5, 4, 3 years ago are the most equipped in this time, right? But we have 3,000 members out of, like, there's millions of artists and photographers in the United States altogether, right? I think there's a stat that said like 1 million people self-identify as an artist every year in the United States, something crazy like that. Now that's not people that are serious, you know, not everybody in that is serious, but like the fact that we have 3,000 and, you know, the whole entire market just went online. Like, think about that.
Yeah. Sort of insane. It's Eric was asking a question. He's like, you know, asking a question about back-end photography stuff, which I responded to him. We don't need to do that. But he's like, I do agree. Artists just need coaching. Like
we all do.
We all do. The solopreneur aspect, huge. Okay. And then what is the other biggest thing? The shiny object problem. The shiny object problem, right? The shiny object problem and the consistency problem. The shiny object is like, I'm going to go do a little bit of this. And then, ooh, there's something new to try over here. And I'm going to go over here. And then that looks pretty awesome. I'm going to go over there. Ooh, this website sounds like it's working. I'm gonna upload everything there. And you just see this constant pattern of hopping around here, there, and everywhere because someone told you that's where somebody did well. And it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter even where you land. If you don't stick at something consistently, you just don't stand a chance. There's no chance. There's no way. You know, and I say, like, I say this all the time, but you know, when you go into like the Apple store, or if you're an Android phone person, like AT&T store, Verizon store, whatever, and all the phones are in display mode and, you know, the screens are just on 100%. I have I have my iPhone on a stick, one of my old iPhones on a stick in display mode, and it just sits here. And and it's on all the time. So it's like, just picture like a computer screen. It's on all the time. And I look at Instagram, okay, and a few of the artists that are like really doing well on our platform, artists and photographers that are really doing well, I cannot open up Instagram or look at Instagram without their story being at the top, without one of their videos being in the
Love it.
And it never ends. They just keep grinding harder and harder and harder, and they're doing it consistently.
Because it's working too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love that, you know, question or point, Eric, that, you know, with on the, like, we all need mentors, right? Like, I mean, you know, for my background, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I've started 6 companies, right? I've started 2 multi-million-dollar companies, right? One into the 8 figures, and I still need mentors. Yeah. I don't say that I'm saying that just to help you guys, right? I'm not saying that to brag. Like, I don't care about that. I'm saying it because at every level, no matter where you are, you need mentors, you know, to help you get to the next stage. There's a saying that I think it's so profound and so true. You're the average of the 5 people closest to you, right? That you spend the most time with.
I love that.
And you just think about it. Just think about that, right? Like, take the 5 people that you're closest with. If you actually wrote them down on a sheet of paper, you are going to be probably right in the middle of that.
Yep.
So who are those 5 people? Who are you surrounding yourself with? You know, it's really crazy, but like, that's another thing. You know, the way to up your game is to get people around you in your inner circle that have actually done the things that you want to do, not people that are on the same level as you. You know, this is one of the secrets of hiring as a CEO. You need to hire people who have done the job of where you're trying to get to, not the person who's trying to get there. Okay. And because you're going to have tons of problems on the way. You always want to try to recruit people who have done the job that you're trying to get to, right? That you're trying to do, because they know exactly what to do. And so in your case, you want to surround yourself with mentors who have gotten to a level above you. You know what I mean? Like, the level you're trying to get to, surround yourself with people who know how to get there, who have been there, right? Yeah. And listen to those people.
I love that quote. I used that quote in my sister and brother-in-law's wedding. I think it's so true. There's so much wisdom in that. It's crazy.
It's so true, right? And it's part of the reason why, like, you know, I'll bring up Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Like, why he's very right about, you know, like, removing toxic people from your life. You know, yeah. Like, a lot of people have a lot of toxic people around them that are negative or draining, and it could be family members, and those are, you know, you definitely don't want one of those people to be one of your top 5 or your closest 5 or closest 10, right? Yeah. Like, you're otherwise you're gonna be the average of that, you know?
Yeah. So true. Eric reacted to the shiny objects. We all chase the shiny objects, Eric. That's just the long and the short of it. That's why you need to be, like, dissuaded of that notion forcibly. We had
you have to audit your own thinking. You literally do, like, the quality of your own thinking. You have to look at it and go, like, is this really, like, a good use of my time? Is there what's the return on the investment of my time? We always talk about that, the ROI on your time. Do you notice, by the way, how often we are saying that? We must be saying that like 4 to 5 times a day each on our member workshops, you know?
Especially like, you know, I'm sure it always applied, right? Like, everyone's tendency to say is like, ooh, everything's different in the digital age that we live in now. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just a version of something that came before. But in the digital age, yes. I think what's different is, especially as it pertains when we talk to, like, various different marketing techniques and tactics, is if you're focused on the right thing, the call it gas, call it exponential growth, call it leverage that you can create by doing the right thing versus the wrong thing, is night and day. It's not.
Oh, it's so true. Compounded over time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The compounded interest, the fact that, like, you know, copy number 2 and number 3 and number 4 and number 5,000, number 10,000 doesn't cost you anything additional to make, right? Like, you know, and in true digital fashion. And it's so funny, Eric, to your point about shiny objects. We have one customer that's, like, really, really good at Facebook and Instagram ads, right? And by the way, Betty, we were just talking about you, literally talking about you 2 seconds ago. Anyone that's on this chat and Facebook can see Betty's comments. You want to see someone's busting their butt, working hard all the time. That the context in which I brought you up, Betty, was the fact that I can't go to Instagram without seeing your story up top, or can't see some of our other customers that are working as hard as you, which is not many, because just not many do. But anyway,
Eric, you follow Betty too, while we're at it. Like, Betty, drop your Instagram handle or whatever in the comments. She's a great one to follow.
Yeah, you want to see someone that's like crushing it, working, understands the consistent marketing. It's right there, and I'll leave your name up. But Eric, going back to the shiny objects, we had in our one of our our customer chat sessions, I think on Tuesday, we had a Facebook ads expert in there that's so funny, and he's been running Facebook ads. He's actually a customer for a bunch of our clients, and a new customer got on and was like, I'm just getting started. I just got my gallery. Up, and I think it was like a Napa Valley images, and he goes, the gallery's up, it looks good. I'm gonna boost a post for $100, right? Boosting post on Facebook. Perfect example. Okay, cool. Betty put it on there. I'm gonna put this on. Perfect example of the shiny object, right? Perfect example of the shiny object. They're like, ooh, somebody told you boosting post was a good idea. And the guy at our thing, he goes, look, and he's Australian. He's like, look, mate, you might as well take that $50 and light it on fire, light it on fire, mate. It was really funny. So the point about focusing on the right stuff and not chasing the shiny objects and doing things consistently is just, it's so important.
Yeah. If you're focused on the right things, and that compounds over time, like that's the pressure over time, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're focused on the right things, like for months and months and months and months and months, that's where you really gain, and you stack so many wins and you gain so much momentum,
Yeah. Which is nothing short of amazing. What else do you have for us, Nick?
Couple feature releases that were out this week. Automatic Art SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
We went over that today in our workshop. So Betty or any other members that are listening to this right now or watching this, go watch that workshop. It's in the Art Marketing Calendar. Just go to today on the Art Marketing Calendar, and you will see a link to that private workshop with the show notes. Automatic Art SEO, where we're essentially doing all the SEO for you. You never have to even think about it or worry about it. And we don't want you to. That's why we released the feature, because SEO is one of the lowest ROI activities that a photographer or artist can do. It stopped working years ago, way over competitive. I built a business on it from 2003 to 2009. And so we want everybody focused on the high arbitrage opportunities, the marketing tactics that actually will get you that you have an advantage on right now, right? Not the stuff that stopped working 10 years ago that everybody and their brother is doing every single day, and by definition will not have a high ROI, because if everybody's doing something, it just won't work. Like there's crumbs left when everybody is doing this thing. And that's what happens with marketing tactics, right? Marketers ruin everything. Marketers eventually ruin everything, right? That's the saying. And it's completely true, right? That's why the marketing game changes constantly. So at one time, a long time ago, direct mail just was, unbelievable. It worked like a charm. And then at one point, email marketing was the biggest arbitrage ever, right? 80% open rates. I mean, could you imagine that these days? 80% open rates. And then SEO. And then, Facebook organic, when they would give 100% reach on organic,
The good old days.
The good old days. Doesn't matter what it is. There's always, everything always gets ruined. And then those are the things you don't want to be doing anymore. You want the easiest solution for that. And that's what this automatic Art SEO is, right? It's one of those old tactics that doesn't matter. And we're 80-20ing it, as I always say, like the 80-20 rule. We're getting 80% of it done all the way there. So like, if you were to spend any more time on it, you would get no extra ROI, because we know what we're doing with SEO. So we just programmed it all in. So when anybody just builds their site or uploads their images, it's actually all just done for you. It's one of the best benefits of one of many benefits of being on a art specific platform, right? Focused on the art business only,
Yeah.
So that was a big announcement this week. The other announcement, the second announcement that was today, very important for Art Storefronts members, because I can't discuss what the tactic is. We released a new one today, and there's a playbook for it. It's actually really quick. It's not going to take you very long to do it. But go to the Art Marketing Calendar and grab that. We want everybody doing it ASAP.
Is that the shopping hack?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the shopping hack, exactly. And I guess I'll also say that we have a member-only exclusive print discount going on, print fulfillment. So the print fulfillment providers have a discount that's been going on this whole time for like pretty much the last 6 weeks to save our customers money on prints, whether it's through the automated fulfillment through their website or if they're buying prints and getting them shipped to themselves. And so we're always doing that to help everybody save money, especially when they have to run a discount. We have this philosophy when we want you to discount, we're going to discount too. So that ends in 3 days on the 10th. So any members that want to take advantage of that and get any more prints for yourself, it's a good time to probably do that and jot down that date so you don't miss it, because it's a pretty good discount.
Yep. All right. I think that's what we got. That's what I got.
We can leave it there. So when are we doing another Zoom for non-members tomorrow, or what are you thinking?
I don't know. We got to decide on that. We do it.
All right. Well, we'll send out an email. Make sure you're on our email list at Art Storefronts. Make sure if you follow our Facebook page as well, you should get a notification when we go live. But we are going to do another Zoom, Q&A with non-members so that we can talk to you about where you're at specifically with your business. What's your most pressing problem right now? Can we help you? And all that stuff. But otherwise, we just did one yesterday. So if you scroll down in our Facebook feed, you will see the live from yesterday that Patrick and I did.
I posted it here in the comments.
What's that?
It's here in the comments. I posted it.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. And we even had Reed, one of our other Art Storefronts teammates, on. He did a short, very, very brief short demo showing the software and the proper art gallery website features, as well as a look into the back end of the marketing features, like the Art Marketing Calendar and some of that stuff.
Yep. Love it.
Oh yeah. I'll say the last thing too. We are running, we had a huge sale for joining Art Storefronts in April. We extended it into May, okay? Because we couldn't get back to everybody at the end of the month. And so if you're interested in joining or you want to look into it at all, you want to chat about it, request a demo as soon as you can. If you go to artstorefronts.com, it is the button's always in the top navigation bar on the upper right, and you just fill out the form real quick, and somebody will get back to you. And the reason I say do it quick is because the spots are filling up. We don't want anybody to miss out and do it last minute, so you can get in and make sure that they can run a demo with you and all that stuff and get you signed up if that's what you want to do, and you can take advantage of the sale.
Eric's giving me some heat for not being consistent with the podcast. I know it's hard, Eric. These lives have become the podcast in many ways, Yeah,
that's actually a great point, and I think that's what this is. Like these are better, Eric. Like we're rather than Patrick just kind of ranting on his own, we're able to actually interact with you, and talk to you and even see your face on these Zoom calls and even talk to you about your business. I think it's way more valuable. Like the amount of value we're able to give on one of these is like 10x the podcast, right? Because the interactivity, and I think we're going to probably start just broadcasting the audio of these on the podcast. Tell us what you think about that, Eric, because you'll be able. I know people, if they're driving and things like that, they love listening to the audio, and so we should be publishing that to the podcast so people can do it.
Yeah.
Just listening. You notice how many people just listen when they come on our Zoom calls? It's like 80% of people.
300 thing that we got to do right now, which is crazy.
Yeah, true.
We're moving fast.
There's so much to learn from just listening and, you know what I mean, and taking in the information. It's just incredible. In our workshops, 80% of the people are just there and they're taking notes the whole time, right? Just listening to other artists and photographers that are doing things and are working on stuff. And they don't even raise their hand and talk to us, because it's like a business school.
Yep.
All right. Until tomorrow.
Till tomorrow. I need a beer.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Good to see you again.